Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We will call this meeting of the City of Clovis Senior Services Committee to order. Ms. Reagan, could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Morris.
Here.
Donna Labatt.
Here.
Constance Williams.
Here.
Shelley Wynn. Terry Potter.
Here.
Melinda Coslet.
Here.
Baxter Curran Senior Center.
Here.
La Casa Senior Center. And Friendship Senior Center.
Here. Thank you. And could we, for the record, could we have you introduce yourself from Baxter Curran, please?
I'm Linda Lawson. I'm the president at this time, at the present time.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. And sir, from Friendship Center, your name, please?
I'm Les Bassinger.
Mr. Bassinger, thank you for being here. Great to see everyone. The first action item we have is the approval of minutes from the regular meeting that took place on December 16th, 2021. Ms. Labatt?
Yes, I have a number of items to either discuss or correct, and the first one starts in line 36. And it's a grammatical thing, get kind of tied up around the negatives, the plural, and the singular verb. So I'm going to defer to Claire because she's a much better grammarian than I am.
Would you like me to read it now?
Oh, yeah. It says the negatives is that there are 6 months to do a purchase order and 6 months for the artist to approve the placement of the art. So that's...
Should be R, not
torturous.
is.
Yes.
So you want to go with the negatives are, or
Oh, there are 6 months
or the negative is?
so the negative is there are 6 months to place a purchase order, to submit a purchase order, and 6 months for the artist,
It shouldn't be R.
and 6 months to approve the placement of the art.
Okay, so we want to go with the negative is.
Yes.
So delete the S on the end of negatives. All right. Then the next one, line 37, it says they have no guarantee that the art they select will be available. Who's the they?
Papa? Papa, who's the they?
I am looking here to see.
I'm
It's on
thinking-
line 38.
They have asked that.
Well, no, it's line 37.
Well, the they is 38.
It's the state,
They-
isn't it?
They would be the Senior Services Committee.
Okay.
The Friendship Center looked at a number, the Friendship Center group that viewed that art.
Okay, that's what so Friendship Center Group. All right, then line 38, we have the sentence that says the Friendship Center looked at a number of the art available and they have a list of suggested pieces. I'd like to suggest that we just delete a number of, so it reads the Friendship Center looked at the art available and have a list of suggested pieces. So delete the they in line 39. Then in line 40, delete the word then. So the sentence reads, they have been asked to review the list and will make decisions at the next meeting. Line 41, Ms. Riggin advised they don't currently have a team, or a name, excuse me. I would like to say Ms. Riggin advised that they or we, and again, I guess the we would be with the Friendship Center group that was looking at the art.
No, that is actually the Senior Services Committee. We were talking about a name for the new senior center.
That the committee doesn't
Or
have.
that the City of Clovis, I guess.
The community has not currently designated a name for this new senior center.
Okay, so how's that sentence going to read?
That the community doesn't have a name for the new center.
Okay. All right, then over to lines 13, 14, and 15. What I'd like to see here is, wait a second. Line 13. The line reads, 1:30 PM, they have bingo, which is for $5, 2 usable cards. I'd like to
Oh,
add the
yeah.
word for, $5 for 2 reusable cards.
Can't we just switch where the word for is?
Oh, whatever.
Just switch for over to they have, which
It-
is $5 for 2 reusable cards. Just
You're
move
right.
for after the $5.
That will work. Line 14, they have also been watching The Crown.
Capital C.
That should be a capital C, yeah.
There should be a capital C, but I would like to clarify it by saying the TV series, I think it is, or a movie? Which is it?
It's a Netflix series.
Netflix series, so let's say that. So because The Crown to some group further down the road is not going to mean much. Then on line 15, Healthcare will be giving a presentation in January 10th. They have a cell phone instruction class. I don't think the healthcare is doing the cell phone instruction, so I think we need to have something in there to say who is doing the cell phone instruction.
Senior services staff.
Healthcare will be giving, and it should say and on January 10th. Shouldn't it? No?
On January the 5th, United Healthcare will be giving a presentation at the Friendship Center.
Yeah.
Period. On January the 10th, they will, Friendship Center will be providing a cell phone instruction class.
Okay.
And then on the next sentence, I would say on January the 12th, Friendship Center will be holding an art class scheduled, an art class.
Well, we don't have to keep repeating Friendship Center because it's under the CAP
Yes.
Friendship Center.
Why don't we list those items in bullets? 1, 2, 3,
That would be a
4.
good, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's probably the best way to handle
That's a good
that.
idea, Claire, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the next paragraph, charisma. The only thing I find here that I would really like to see in future meetings is rather than say second quarter this, end of the date of, end of the year, year to date, whatever it is, I'd like to see either the exact specific date mentioned or probably even better yet, a chart. A chart with a bar graph or something that visualizes what these figures mean, because
So with
format, they're meaningless to me.
Charisma is not here to take down that information, so I will relay the information to them and see if they're able to produce that.
And then finally, and you'll be happy to hear, this is my last one, line 27, it says they aren't sure what type of services they will follow yet. Aren't sure what types of service? I don't know what you're talking
Hang on,
about.
they're
That's
talking about the taxes that we
the
use. Seeing as
taxes.
She should have posted, they aren't sure what type of services they will follow yet. Oh, she's talking about, whether they're gonna be doing.
Curbside or walk-in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm speaking for Shelley Wynn, who's not here, but having talked to her, I think that's what she's talking about.
Yes.
They're not sure whether they were gonna do they weren't sure if they were gonna do in person yet because of the mandates, or whether they were gonna be able to have them actually come in.
Okay, so it should be types of service, not type of services.
Yeah, okay.
And that concludes my review of the minutes. My suggestion.
Thank you for that, Vice Chairperson, Ms. Labatt. Appreciate all of those corrections and suggestions. Are there any others? Or is there a motion to approve with those corrections?
I move that we approve them as corrected.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. The minutes have been approved. Thank you. We'll move on to new business, where we have a couple of planned items here. The first is discussion and action regarding changing the meeting day and time for this committee, the Senior Services Committee. And it has my name there. However, I would ask for some help. This committee is scheduled to meet on what days each quarter, is it?
The second Thursday every other month at 3 p.m.
So currently, we're second Thursday every other month.
And that will fall on the odd months. So January, March, May, and so on.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Ms. Riggin. And so just to begin discussion on that, and then obviously I'd love to hear from all of the members. Obviously, I know that even I personally have had a hard time with some of the meeting dates and times because often they were falling on the same day that I would have at least one other board meeting in the afternoon, and then it would be on City Commission Day as well. However, I think that's because we had to move it perhaps around holidays and things like that, because normally a second Thursday would not create those conflicts for me. Are there others that have a hard time with this schedule, that being the second Thursday every other month, odd month?
It works for me, but.
Fine.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I don't know about a time change. 3 o'clock is when I actually pick up my kids and just kind of have to manage that. But other than that, I can do those days.
Right, right. Well, I appreciate that, Ms. Williams, because sometimes I have to do the same. You know, I have kids to pick up as well. So something to think about. How about the time of day? If the second Thursday works for the majority of us, how about the time of day?
As long as it's in the afternoon, I can do any time.
Ms. Burrows, anything from city management? Any suggestions? Any reason why you would suggest maybe a day or a time?
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the Senior Services Committee, any time would work. I mean, if it would be better to do it shortly after lunch rather than later on in the afternoon, as we have been doing it, say 1:30 maybe. If that would be easier and less intrusive into people's afternoons.
Okay. And I guess a bit of a point of order, Ms. Burrows, that does the commission approve the meeting time?
No, it's
We-
set
we
by the
just-
group, sir.
So we'll just decide that here today. Okay, very good. I would actually prefer 1:30 p.m. over 3 p.m.
That works for me, that's fine.
I agree.
So we're getting agreement. Mr. Potter down there? Sounds
good to me.
sounds good to you? Any-
That's
Anyone else?
fine, because I
Okay.
have to pick up my daughter also at 3.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like then if we were to stick with second Thursdays on odd months, but move the meeting time to 1:30 p.m., that might be better for this whole group.
Okay.
Ms. Reagan, what are your thoughts?
I totally agree with you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's do that. Let's take action on that. Would someone want to put that in the form of a motion?
Mayor,
Yes.
the only question I might have is, would that affect Charisma's ability to attend?
They don't make it by 3, so.
They serve lunch from 11 to 1, and I don't know. I would have to check with Charisma to see if their schedule is free at 1:30.
But somebody could attend probably if they
Yes.
finished at 1.
Yes.
Just checking. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was a good thought.
Yeah, most of the Charisma input has to do with the number of meals served, I think. So that's information they probably have in advance, well in advance of the meeting.
Yep. Good point. Any further discussion on this, or is there a motion to set the meeting times as being the second Thursday in odd months at 1:30 p.m.?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move that the Senior Services Committee, starting from today, meet on the second Thursday of every month at 1:30.
I second it.
Thank you, Ms. Labatt and Ms. Coslet. We have the motion coming from Ms. Labatt, the second coming from Ms. Coslet. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. The motion is carried, or has carried, and we will begin meeting on that schedule. Thank you. Next, discussion and action regarding forming a committee to assist with the naming of the new senior center. Ms. Riggin.
Yes, sir. Mayor and Madam Chair and Commission. During the January meeting, the discussion was made we were thinking of ways to name the new senior center. So I proposed to meet with Miss Kelsey Knight, who is our marketing director or marketing coordinator. And we have come up with a suggestion. So I wanted to present it to you today and see if there was any other suggestions that we may follow. If you, not we, if you select a subcommittee, maybe Madam Chair or Vice Chair, and then maybe 3 members of the committee, we could meet and get some suggestions. Ms. Knight thought that if we had 5 names of the senior center, we could put it out to the public in a form of a survey. So if I can maybe get your suggestions on that, or if you have other suggestions on naming the senior center.
Well, that process is certainly a good suggestion, but Madam Vice Chair, members of the committee, what are your thoughts?
My thought is, I like to have things out to as many people as possible. On the other hand, I recognize that if you have too many people involved, sometimes things got to bog down and don't get done. So I think the suggestion of having a committee to come up with a number of names and then asking the public achieves both purposes.
Agreed. And remember, the citizens have either directly or indirectly put you all on this committee. So you're representing the citizens here, so that's covered. Appreciate those comments. Any other comments?
Mayor, excuse me. One of the thoughts that I have is, because we only have 2 senior locations, that possibly starting off with a suggestion box and then having those brought to the committee to kind of go over that basically, to me, allows participation from the beginning all the way through. And so, because a lot of people may have, like I said, just different suggestions, have it at the box at, a box at lunchtime or whatever, and maybe have an opportunity to go in there and say, hey, we're trying to do this, we want to get what y'all suggestions are, and then go from that with the committee, then selecting, and then coming back to the community and saying, these are what we've lifted up as 5 suggestions or whatever it may be. But that's just my thought.
So, go ahead.
I think, I like that addition, but I think the suggestion box, such as it were, should be out there for a limited time, say 2 weeks, whatever we think it ought to be, because that will give the committee some
Timeframe.
ideas right out of the bag to work with, and they may come up with some others on their own, but that's my thought on that.
So can I ask a question? Are you saying, like, put a suggestion box at Baxter, at La Casa, at Friendship? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, yes, because they have lunch at all 3 places. La Casa doesn't have lunch anymore.
No, and neither
Okay.
does Baxter.
Ooh, okay. Well, still, they're access points, so, and they have gatherings.
They have gatherings and stuff.
Yeah,
all-
so they have gatherings, and so, just the access points. Yes, ma'am.
How about our representatives from Baxter Curran or Friendship? What are your thoughts on a suggestion box?
I think it would be good to have the seniors involved in it, because a lot of them felt like they was left behind when all the decisions was made, so I think they would enjoy it.
Think it could be a good thing then?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
I think it'd be a good thing, that way the people that coming into the centers feel that they're
Yeah.
participating and helping
I think
provide.
I agree. I think it's a great suggestion. Let's add that step to the process. So this subcommittee will have those suggestions to work with as they start meeting and take up that work. That's a great idea. Any other thoughts?
And do we have a deadline on when we want to get
Yeah, I was just going to
a
ask.
name? By the time we want to have a committee meeting, I guess, or on that?
So is somebody gonna notify La Casa to put a box out, or?
Yes, we'll make sure there's
Okay.
communication to. In fact, I think the city could probably
Make one?
come up with the boxes so that it's the same type of box,
Okay,
same
that's
messaging.
that's a good idea.
At each of the sites.
a good
Can
idea.
can I say that?
Yes, you
Yeah,
can, Mayor,
okay,
thank you.
we could do that.
Yeah, we
All
were
right.
just talking, we have a couple of boxes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, because then it would be uniform, yeah.
do we have an
Give
idea?
us a week or so to make that happen, to get them
Sounds great.
properly
So,
decorated.
so the city will take care of the boxes, but needs a week or so to do that. I think we would want to have the suggestion boxes out, as you suggest, Madam Vice Chair, for 2 weeks.
What, Barbara, do you have an idea on the length that they should be out there? Because people will get bored for a while because they'll see it and they just,
Yes,
it doesn't mean anything, so.
Yes, and I agree. 1 to 2 weeks would be preferably, I think that's a good time, 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
for that. Okay, so we will
Yes.
include that in the planning. And then obviously so that would mean 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now, the subcommittee could begin meeting, going through the suggested names and beginning their work. So who will serve on the subcommittee?
Well, I think it's appropriate for me to be on the subcommittee, either as the ranking member or ex officio. I'm not sure how we want to actually structure
I
it,
think that's a
but
good idea for you to be on it.
Okay, so Madam Vice Chair, you'll serve.
okay.
Who else? We're looking for 3 members.
I'll do it.
Ms. Coslet will serve.
I'll be a member.
And it's Mr. Basinger, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes,
And so
that's-
Mr. Basinger will serve. So we have 3 members from this committee that can serve, and Ms. Riggin, you'll set in on that as well?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, very good. What else do we need to,
And
To
you'll let us
consider.
know when we're meeting,
Yes.
Donna? Okay.
what other considerations do we need to make
It is in April.
On this topic, you mean?
on this topic? Yes,
But I can't think of any at the moment.
And mayor staff can provide support for that group and take minutes and so on.
I'm sorry, what was that?
she said that staff will provide support for the subcommittee and take minutes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Very well, then we're looking for a motion to appoint Vice Chair Ms. Labatt, Member Coslet, and Member Basinger to the subcommittee to take up this work. And the process will include the suggestion boxes at each of the senior centers prepared by the city and set out for 2 weeks. And I believe that's all we will need. So I need a motion for that, please.
Hi, I make a motion to prepare, as the mayor suggested, the suggestion box for all the sites and have that participation process begin for the committee.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We have a motion, we have a motion, and the second came from Member Potter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion is carried, and that is how we will move forward with the work of coming up with the name for the new senior center. Thank you, each of you. Next is old business, and we have an update regarding funding for the new senior center that we're discussing. Ms. Burrows, or I will take that. We were surprised when some months ago we thought we were in a good position and that we had secured around 5.7 million in funding from Aging and Long-Term Services and from a CBDG grant. 5.7 in funding for what was planned to be a $5.7 million new senior center. But when the bids came back, the low bid was 7.9. So, and I think this has been discussed at maybe the last meeting, but so we had about a $2.2 million gap in getting our new senior center funded and off the ground. So obviously we could look at scaling back what is built and those kinds of things, but we didn't want to do that. And Madam Vice Chairperson, Ms. Labatt, I want to thank you because I know that you must have done some lobbying and done some work for this project up in Santa Fe. I know that Senator Woods was instrumental in helping us from the delegation's perspective in getting funding for this. We also had Representative Crowder come along in a big way with capital outlay from his capital outlay, and so did Representative Zamora. So from our delegation in capital outlay in this last session, and the capital bill was signed, by the way, by the governor, so we can now talk about this in certain terms. But we got $614,000 from our delegation, so from Woods, Crowder, and Zamora. But then also the governor herself came along in a big way and provided support in helping us to reach our funding need on this two ways. One, through a reauthorization of $750,000, which she gave from her capital in the 21 session. That was to go for a wellness center project, which was dependent upon the city receiving or being successful in receiving a DSIP grant. The city was not successful in receiving that grant, so there was no wellness center moving forward that capital from the governor's office could be used for. Therefore, we asked for a reauthorization of that $750,000, which we were given by the governor, but then also the governor, upon being presented with this situation and our funding gap challenge, she, from her own capital in this 22 session, put in another $750,000. So we got 1.5 from the governor from the two different ways, the reauthorization and the capital from this year, and then we got $614,000 from our delegation, who represent us very well. And so we're grateful to the delegation as well as the governor and everyone who helped in making this happen. So the good news is that we're back to what we needed, and we can move forward with the senior center as we've all, as it's been designed and as we all dream that it'll be. Anything to add to that, Ms. Burrows, from a city management standpoint?
Well, thank you, Mayor, for your efforts on behalf of the City of Clovis in this activity. It was great to see that come to fruition, and just echo your compliment to Miss Labatt when I called her in a tizzy. she obviously went straight to Senator Woods and the rest of the delegation and sought help. So thank you, Miss Labatt. We have been in contact with Donna Stewart, who is handling the Community Development Block Grant piece for the City of Clovis with regard to CDBG funds, which is the $750,000 and our piece of $250,000. Working with them, working with architects, NCA. We will be speaking with Barbara Romero now that the governor has signed the capital outlay bill, to speak with her shortly to see if we can't move this along pretty speedily rather than wait for all the contracts from the state. So we're just waiting to hear from Barbara Romero to confirm that, and then we'll be able to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And Ms. Burrows, thank you to you and the team at the City Manager's Office, City Administration, for all of your effort on this as well. We appreciate it very much.
Pleasure.
And members and for the public that may be viewing the meeting, the news is we're going to have a very nice senior center for our community, and this will be a great asset for years to come. As you heard the funding structure described just now, the City of Clovis has $250,000 involved in this, and that was the city's match for that CBDG grant of $1 million. The rest of it is coming from the state of New Mexico. And, that speaks to the grant writing capabilities that we have with Ms. Burrows and the team at the city. And that also illustrates for you and for all of us how it is that we have to work to get things funded for our community. And it is a team effort, and it's a great partnership that we have with the state, as is illustrated in this coming together. So very excited about this moving forward. Any other comments or questions?
Yes, I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a question, and that is, given our somewhat inflationary environment at the moment, when can this start work, and would there be any cost overruns as a consequence of what's happening out there now?
Madam Vice Chair, I think it's I think there's a good chance that because of inflation, that having received a bid and when did we receive when did the bids come back, Ms.
It was in
Burrows?
January.
In January. So if we go back out to bid and it's months from now when we receive, the next bid, I think it's very possible that it will have inflated even over where it was at. But I think that we're a long ways down the road to getting this done.
Can we expedite it? Can we-
How's
how
Friday
quickly can we-
how's
yeah.
Friday at 5?
That sounds good to me. Let's get the show on the road.
This is certainly a priority of the cities, and we will move as quickly as possible on
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
We, Mr. Chairman, members of the Senior Services Committee, Vice Chairman Labatt, we are dependent on the state at this point with regard to receiving signed contracts for the funding that was approved during the session. And that often doesn't come until late summer or the fall, and so that's what the challenge is now. And the question that's on the table that we've been negotiating with the state is whether or not the city of Clovis is able to move forward without those agreements, or what can be done to expedite that process. And that's where we are right now. We can't move forward without signed contracts. So.
Very good. Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments? I wanted to mention also our Senior Services Director, Ms. Reagan. Thank you for all of your work throughout the process as well. And there will be more to come, won't there?
Yes, I am, and as you, I am super excited. And
Yes.
I would also like to personally thank all of you for making this happen, because we couldn't have done it without this committee and without our city administration and mayor and commissioners. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for all that you do. We will move on then to for the good of the order. And so we'd love to hear about any announcements that any of you have. Ms. Coslett?
Well, Senior Olympics is up and going. We have a calendar. We actually have a full month of April. We are doing everything except for the talent show. That was the one thing we opt out of, not knowing at the time when we were planning what COVID was going to do, what restrictions were going to be. That's the one area that we can't just drop. All of these others, if we would have had to, we could have dropped, but talent show is one that we can't just automatically say we're not doing. But other than that, we are doing a full Senior Olympics. Our registration dates are March 17th from 3 to 7, March 18th from 1:30 to 4, and March 21st from 9 to 12. These are all at Roy Walker, but you can register at Charisma. Mr. Bassinger has agreed to collect money from 11 to
11 to 1, I guess.
1. So you can register up there. You also on Tuesdays can register at Baxter. My husband is up there all day on Tuesdays. He's agreed, with a little arm twisting, he's agreed to register at Baxter. And all it takes is to come in and fill out a form and pay your $20, but the $20 includes a t-shirt, and they're new ones this year. It also will include one entrance to the banquet at the end of the month, which is at K-Bob's this year. And for anybody who wants a hat, we have 15 years worth of hats that have been just sitting around doing nothing. We are going to put them out on the table, and they are free, one hat per person, or if you want two, we don't really care. So it also would include a free hat. Most of them are not dated, so I mean, so they, you could wear them anytime, and if they're dated, you could still wear them. But so it includes all of that. I spoke at Charisma today and Leslie registered 4 or 5 at Charisma today. I picked up 5 or 6 more at Baxter today from the pool players. We are real open this year, more so than we have in the past, that we are up until the 23rd of March. We will take registration wherever you can get to. So, I mean, if you see me on the street and you say, hey, I want to register, I will find a form, and I will stop what I'm doing, and I will register you.
You don't have an online site or something like
We
that?
don't currently have an online site.
Well, couldn't you do it through the Friendship Center and then?
We could, we just have, because this is our first year to run this without a coordinator. So we are just kind of keeping our heads here right now because we're trying to make sure all our ducks are in a row. There's a lot that we have never been responsible for because we had a great coordinator in Ruben. So we will tackle the online next year. We are just opting not to tackle any more than we have to right now because to be real honest, it's taken a lot for us to get everything in a row. I'm lucky I have a fantastic board and a hardworking board who are willing to jump in and do whatever's needed. But an online option probably is a good idea for next year, Donna. We just don't feel like we can tackle it this year.
Okay.
So if you are 50 or older, guys, I can find something for you to do. Come join. And I'm talking to all of you out there in TV land, too.
Very good. Well, thank you for that report. Is it Ms. Lawson?
Yes.
I wanted to be cautious to make sure I had retained your name from earlier. So would you like to give us an update about happenings at Baxter Current?
Okay, there's a lot going on right now. We have a raffle for a shotgun, 12-gauge shotgun going. We will be set up at the Civic Center for the gun, knife, and coin show. They allowed us to have a booth out there. The drawing for that will be on Monday night after our business meeting. And so about 5:30, we'll know who's won this lovely shotgun. You do have to pass a background test deal before you get the gun. But so far, everything is working in our favor. A lot of things that's going on. We have stew and cornbread on a Saturday afternoon with bingo following, if you'd like to come out and join. All of our regular activities, the pool room, bingo, game night, quilting, sew days, needle gang for crocheting, line dance. Yeah, they yelled at me for that one. I forgot that on our business card. Line dancing, and they've got a beginning class and a jamboree, which is a more advanced. We also have dances the second and fourth Friday of each month with a DJ, and on the third Friday, we have a band, a live band. So come out and join us for a dance. We have, the dances are $6. We bring a covered dish and have potluck. We have breakfast on Thursdays, and that's $5. We can't really charge, so it's a donation as you walk in the door. And it's biscuits and a sausage gravy that is wonderful. Scrambled eggs, fruit, coffee, juice. Okay, well, who did I leave out of all of this? Okay, but after this fundraiser gets finished, we're starting another one. And this is going to be a fantastic time. We're planning a classic car show, a chili cook-off, a 50s dance, and there will be things, little giveaways through the day, and oh, it's going to be so much fun. And if you make chili, come out. It's a $10 entry fee, and you guarantee us 2 gallons of chili, okay? The car show is $10 entry fee, and we're going to charge $3 to walk through and look at those cars that they're going to bring in. A lot's going on. Just come out and check out our center. It's a lovely place to be.
Well, it sure sounds like it, Ms. Lawson, and you do have a lot going on. Thank you. Thanks for all you're doing over there. Great to hear about it. Mr. Bassinger?
Yes, today we had our first Cup of Joe with the veterans, which we're going to start every month. We all just sat around and talked to each other, and we had some of our members that weren't veterans sitting in with them, so we had a good turnout. And then, of course, Melinda, she gave the Senior Olympics presentation today also. We have exercise classes 5 days a week, 2 days a week. They're dance type, but they're all chair or standing, so it's not real heavy. We're starting karaoke on a monthly basis. Our bingos on Thursday have changed into different games. We're having games. We had our first one the other day, which was Family Feud, and I'd love to say that the men won all the money. We have cooking days where they're putting out menus and they're showing you how to cook these things. We still have our pool tournaments. We have an Easter craft coming up at the end of the month. We also have a sock hop coming up on the end of the month, the 20th, with ice cream floats and just a bunch of fun. Coming up in April, we still have our movies going on and our teas. And starting April, they'll go to the series Downtown Abbey. We're going to start live tours, virtual live tours. The first one will be next month at Norma Vai Petty Studio. Next month, Sandy is going to start going and taking people to the trails. So we'll be going out and walking. We have variety shows every month, which are virtual in the evening, and we have people playing guitar, singing, reading, and movie days are usually Wednesday. In April, it's going to be the Disney movie Aladdin. So a lot of these movies that we had are not the animated ones, they're the actual people that are performing. So that pretty much covers everything that we've got going on right now. We have one more thing. In May, we're going to try to go to the golf range, the driving range, to get a feel of it, and then turn around and have 9 holes of golf the next time. So we can rent the carts and everything, clubs. So that's another outing that we're going to have.
Well, that's great. That's great. Some of those activities sound very interesting. The virtual tours, I think that, so you have plenty of folks that would watch. I assume maybe you're leveraging Facebook Live or something like that
Yes,
to do the virtual tour?
We do that when we had our virtual bingo on Thursday evenings.
Okay.
Tuesday evenings, we used to have virtual bingo, and everybody comes on and you can have your face and camera and mute. So that'll be what the tours are all about.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing with us about all the things happening there. Appreciate that very much. Ms. Riggin, did you have anything to report on or to add?
I do. Thank you, Mayor. So in addition to a lot of activities that we do have planned for the month of March and April, we are also doing several informational presentations. On March the 15th, we have Kindred Hospice coming out to let our folks know about hospice. March the 17th, Interim is hosting an Alzheimer's presentation. The district manager from the Alzheimer's Association will be present to give that presentation on March the 17th. On March the 21st, Interim is also going to do a Hospice 101. And then on the 29th, they're going to be back to do a Home Care 101. During that time, they're going to just kind of talk about personal hygiene, safety issues around your home, different things like that. April the 5th, we're going to have Compassus Hospice. On April the 8th, we're going to have Med Health there. She is formerly with Humana, but she's got lots of information on Medicare. April the 12th, we will have Heartland Nursing Home to speak about their facility. And then on April the 13th, Retirement Ranch will be there. And then on April the 28th, Interim will be there again, and I'm not sure what they're going to be talking about. So we're trying to bring lots of educational things in for our seniors in addition to our activities that we present. Other than that, we are fully staffed at senior services, which has been a great help. You know, over COVID, there's lots of dynamics that caused our staffing to dwindle down, but we are fully staffed now and going strong. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Glad to hear that you're going strong.
Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order, members?
Yeah, well, the only thing I can think of is a follow-up on the public art for the center. If you can't speak on it right now, Barbara, I understand, but maybe next time at our meeting you could follow up with some more information and get us back on track on that.
Yes, ma'am. I can get that on the next agenda in May.
Wonderful.
Very good. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right.
If I may, one more comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the senior services is so far ahead of where it was when I first joined this committee. It's amazing. The energy, the programs that have come on board is just phenomenal, and the teamwork and the collaboration that takes place to make all of this happen is incredible as well. So my deep respect and thanks for all the work and energy and imagination and creativity that has gone into this. This is really fantastic.
Thank you for those positive comments, Madam Vice Chair. Everyone check me on this, but I think based upon our decision earlier in the meeting, our next meeting will be held on May 12th at 1:30 p.m. Well, may it be so. Our next meeting will be May 12th at 1:30 p.m. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.